Hi, welcome back. Right, okay, this video, I'm going to tell you some techniques for manifesting and that sort of thing. I'm going to reveal some stuff to you which you already know, you just don't know you know it. So come on to that in a little while. Right, okay, the first thing is I'm going to talk to you about why you can't succeed. Right? And the reason you can't succeed is the program you're currently running in your mind. You've got a situation where basically junk's built up. Yeah, so something along the way has come in. So somebody's gone, well, this is how it is, and you've gone, oh yeah, that's how it is, and it's just that person's been a Chinese whisper. It's been a load of rubbish, right? So it's a case of you've now based some of your thinking on that pile of junk. Then something else has happened, and you've gone into business, and it hasn't worked because of something, and you've gone, oh right, okay, yep, that hasn't worked because of this. Okay, so I'll take that as an assumption. I'll put that into my mind as well. And that was wrong because you hadn't actually analysed what actually happened. It was just what you thought had happened. Well, so you put that junk in there and you put this bit of junk in there, and they sort of rattle around in there and they sort of bounce off each other. And basically they produce different bugs, different problems that you don't know about, because these two wrong thoughts creates more wrong thoughts. And what happens is you end up with basically a load of junk going on. When you combine that with the program that society gives you, which is basically stay where you are, you know, everything's scary, there'll be monsters everywhere else other than, you know, doing what you're doing, stay where you are. It's a case of you've got a program running inside your head that's basically full of bugs and you can't overcome it. So what happens is you've got this big virus going on in there, and let's say you go to a seminar or something like that and you go, right, okay, that bloke's making a fortune doing this, I'm going to buy his system, I'm going to copy exactly what he's doing. Right, yep, sounds pretty cool. And you go and get it, and then you go and stick this program into your mind, and you get zero results. Right? And the reason you're getting zero results is really simple. You're sticking a good software onto a computer which has a virus. That's it. That's what you're doing. So what happens is you keep doing this, and you go through life, and you go, oh, another thing. Oh, that hasn't worked. It hasn't worked because, and so then what you do is you then go, well, that hasn't worked because I'm not capable of it, or it hasn't worked because that person's a liar and they sold me a piece of junk. Don't get me wrong, they might be, but that's beside the point. The point is you're basing it all on assumptions which are not correct, because basically you shouldn't have loaded the software onto a computer which had a virus. You know, you go to any computer shop and a computer guy turns around to you and says, you go and you walk in with your computer and go, it won't work, I can't load any software on it. Well, do you know what's wrong with it? He says, and you go, yeah, it's got a virus on it. He goes, well, that's why the software won't work. Right? That's it. Nothing more complicated than that. So you've got a program that's running with a virus. Now, this goes as part of the reason all of the success teachers can't teach it to you. Right? This is just one of the things. Right? The problem is that I had a very good description the other day, you know, just yesterday on Facebook, and they described it as, you know, a bug-free mind. You know, what all personal development does is it's like an air raid. And they're going through, and the bombers are going through, dropping bombs, and they're getting rid of some of the problems, right? And basically, but the trouble is there's loads of insurgents left on the ground. And so after the bombers have gone, the insurgents carry on fighting, right? Whereas what I do with, you know, in creating a bug-free mind is I basically go through the streets like a crew clearing the houses, house to house. So we rid out all of the insurgents. Now the problem is, when you're a personal, when the guys are teaching from it, the success education, they're doing it and it's going, well, this has worked for me. Right? So of course, therefore, they're expecting it to be able to work for you. But of course, they're giving you this great piece of software. You're going plonk straight in there, didn't work. Right? Now, the problem is that it's a case of, in my opinion, and I think my opinion's right as it happens, the purpose of a teacher of this sort of thing is to get it through so that the student understands it. It's not the job of the student to understand how the teacher was teaching it. Right? It's the teacher's job to get it through, you know. And the problem is with success, less than 1% of people get success, and basically less than 1% of success books and that sort of thing work, and they would have worked for the person who was doing them anyway. So the problem is that it doesn't work. So, you know, as I covered in an earlier video. So the thing is, the guys, they can't teach it to you because they're teaching it one way, and your brain can't accept it that way because your brain isn't ready for it, because your brain's got loads and loads of junk on it. So what we've got to do is we've got to go get rid of that junk, debug it, and then put the software in, and anything works. That's it. Once you put a good software in, anything works. As an example of bad teaching, I'm going to cite one of my personal favourites. One of the guys who's inspired me immensely. It doesn't matter how good somebody is. There's always bits of whatever they're doing be wrong. There'll be bits of what I'm doing that'll be wrong, and that'll be found out in the future and that sort of thing, as I'm about to reveal to you now. One of the things that has been one of the best books that's ever been written on personal development, on mindset, on success, is Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill, and it was Andrew Carnegie, world's richest man, got Napoleon Hill to write the book for him. He didn't got it to write a book for him. He basically offered him the opportunity that he'd open the doors to all the rich and successful people around the world for him if Napoleon Hill would write the books. And Napoleon Hill went off and wrote the book. Napoleon Hill was a journalist, and in there, Napoleon's core line, right, is whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Now, when you listen to that, it's like, wow, that's powerful stuff, right? But here's the problem. He used the word in there, right? Everybody looks at that line, and they all work on one word in there. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The key word is believe. Everyone looks at that word believe, and they go, yeah, wow, okay, right, okay, what, right? I want to be able to do this, right? Okay, if I can just believe that. So they're working on believe, and everything they're doing is trying to get them to the state where they believe it 100%. The problem is, there's a glass, right? Okay, there's a glass. Fresh apple juice. Well, not quite fresh. I did it yesterday. What it is look at that glass. You've got a cup in front of you or a glass in front of you. Do you believe you can pick that up? Yeah. No, you don't. You know you can pick it up. I know I can pick it up. Whoops, I've dropped it. No, I haven't. Right? I know I can pick it up. It's completely different. Yeah. Just think about it for a second. The state of believe is the state of doubt. So if I believed I could pick it up, if I believed it, I'd doubt it at the same time. So I've instilled really tiny the element of doubt right at the start. So now it's a case of whenever somebody writes their sentence, right, I believe I can do this, they doubt they can do it. So if you say, I believe I can do this, I doubt you doubt you can. I believe in this, oh, you doubt it then, do you? Right? The difference between believe and know is immeasurable. It's enormous. Basically what you've got is you've got a situation where no is absolute. You know it. I know my daughter loves me. Yeah, I don't believe she loves me. I know she loves me. Yeah, do you get it? It's absolute. Yeah, and it's a case of. But if you believed it, it's like it's weak. I say to people, it's like a low sperm count. It's weak, right? It's just the way it is, right? So the problem is with Napoleon Hill's line, you've got whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Now the problem is everybody who read that book, 30 million people who read that book. Basically, they worked on the believe line, on the believe word, right? If you replace that word with know, whatever the mind can conceive and know, it can achieve. The whole sentence is completely different. Now, your attention switches to the important word in that sentence, the power word. And the power word in that sentence is conceive. This is the power. The mind has to conceive it, right? It's no good saying, I can visualise having £100 million in the bank and living in a Caribbean island that I own and that sort of thing, right? Okay. Well, your subconscious mind, you can program it in. You can get this dream, you can vision boards on the wall and all that sort of thing. You can do everything you can about that dream. But if your subconscious mind can't conceive how you can get there, then you won't get there, unless you give it examples all the way, the steps of how it could be there. They don't have to be the exact method. They don't have to be the end, this is it. You have to go it this way. Right, I'm going to do this, and then on March the 31st, I'm going to do exactly that. And, it doesn't have to be that. You have to give it 5 or 10 examples for each step, and you can have 20 steps to go from here to there. Yeah? And that's the conceive bit. So you give your subconscious mind possibilities, ways of doing it. You provide it with enough examples. Then what will happen is your subconscious mind goes zonk, 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 and it'll come up with new ways. You'll end up with a greater manifestation than what you were after and all that sort of thing. So it'll find its way through if you've given it the power to conceive. But if you go, I want 100 million in the bank and I want this Caribbean island and that sort of thing, okay, right, I'm just visualising that, I'm visualising it, I'm bringing it in. It won't work, right? You've got to provide it with the steps. And then you've got to do the magical thing of the lot, most magical thing of the lot, you've actually got to step forward on that path and do what you can today for the step you're on right now. You can have the dream and you fill in the conceive. You work on your conceive, that's the power bit. But you keep the dream, visualise in every possible way. And that's it. Now, if Napoleon Hill had done that, then I think that would have probably turned that book into one of the most powerful books ever written. It is now, in the world of self-development, one of the most powerful books ever written. But that bit he got wrong, you know. And so it's a case of there's elements, and the problem is most of the teachers came from having been trained that way, right? Because they didn't believe, they knew. They were saying the word believe, but they were using the state of knowing, right? Big difference, big difference. So I can say the word believe, yeah, I believe I can get up. I can say it, because I'm not in the state of believe, I'm in the state of knowing. That's the success mindset, yeah? So it's a case of you've got to watch the words, and when you're in a position where you're starting out and you can't seem to get success right, words are everything, you know, because you're basing everything, your states, your mental states are being based on them. So you've got to be very, very careful about the words you choose. Okay, the way to remove the bad program is quite simple. I've said it before, you know, it's what I do in the book, which is, you know, creating a bug-free mind, which is where you go through your mind one step at a time and you analyse your thoughts. And as you go through and analyse your thoughts, you notice when things don't work, when the thought is taking you, remember you can't stand still, no thought stands still, it either takes you where you want to go or away from where you want to go. So what you've got to do is you've got to go through your thoughts one step at a time. And the process I do in the book is, you know, a process of removal to remove worry one step at a time, remove anxiety one step at a time, remove stress, remove fear, all the elements of fear, remove overwhelm and that sort of thing. And you just go through them one at a time. And it's a case of when you feel overwhelmed, I'll give overwhelm as an example. Why am I overwhelmed? Are you overwhelmed because of something somebody else has done? That's what you think it is. That's what your ego wants you to think. But you're overwhelmed because you've accepted that work in. Right? I mean, it's a big subject, but the point is you go through your thoughts and you analyse them one at a time. Once you've done that, once you've done all this, you need a new way of thinking, which is where the other book came in, which is, you know, using a bug-free mind. And that's where I come up with a template and give people the ways of how to step from here to here and how to come up with, 10 wide, 20 deep of how to get from here to your end goal. And the thing is, it's a case of, that's a process. It sounds very mechanical there, but it's not. It's a bit more organic than that. But that's a new way of thinking because you've not thought that way before. Now, what you need right now to get your success isn't the way you've thought before. You need a completely different way of thinking because the way you've thought up until now, don't do it. It hasn't worked, does it? So you need a different way of thinking. Now, a successful person, somebody, let's take somebody who's a very successful person. I'm not going to name anybody. You can choose one of the successful people. They can see there and they go, right, okay, that's where I'm going to be. Okay, yep, that's what I've got to do, right? Now they can do that in a blink of a mind's eye. They can see the possible route through. It's just a gift because they haven't got any garbage programming saying things like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to fail or anything like that. They haven't got any of that rubbish. You know, we're going to cover fear of failure in a later video. But the point is they haven't got any of the garbage that you've got instantly coming in going, the bug's going, whoop, fear of failure, that won't work, right? Or, my Uncle Fred once saw a bloke in a pub and he said he was going to do something like that and he was too afraid of it, so you'll definitely be afraid of it. It's all like garbage. A successful person hasn't got any of that junk going on because they realise it's rubbish. And none of it is helping them get there. The only thing they're interested in is anything that will help them get there, right? The rest of the stuff, they've got a narrow line of focus. The rest of the stuff on Earth that doesn't help them get there is irrelevant, right? That's it, right? So the new way of thinking I lay down in the book is how to get from here to there fast, right? I'm going to just cover a couple of manifesting techniques, right? First off, you manifest all the time, yeah? Everything you do, you manifest. Everything you've got going on in life, let's say you're going, whatever it is, you're manifesting it. Everything you've got in your life right now is there because you manifested it. If you look around, it's a case of everything you've done, you've created with your mind. Yes, you've gone out and gone to work and that sort of thing, but basically it started with your mind. It's the thought, everything to get this chair I'm sitting in, everything all starts with a thought in your mind. And so everything has come via a thought in your mind. So all you're doing is you're doing this automatically. Now, some people are really good at it with relationships. Some people are really good at it with sports. Some people are really good at it with business. Some people are really good at it with getting on with people. Some people are really good at it socially. Do you see what I mean? All of us have got different skill sets. There's hundreds and hundreds of different skill sets, right? And we're all doing it automatically. Now, the skill of manifesting is to find something you're really good at, right? That you're manifesting already really good. Let's say you're manifesting, everybody really likes you or something like that. I need that one. But everybody's really, likes you, and you've got that skill. You've got that, the character, the charisma and everything like that, and you can just manifest great relationships and that sort of thing. Really, really easy. Okay, so now you've found something that you're really good at. Now, go and find something that you're not good at. Let's say, I can do that, but I can't handle money. I'm really bad with money. Okay, right, okay, what do you need to do to handle money, to create more money, to create success? What you need to do is you need to go into the zone where you're in that place where you're manifesting over here, something that you're very, very good at, right? And you need to then remember that feeling, that emotion, that sort of thing, and then bring the association over to the money and that sort of thing, and start to feel that you are good with money, and it's all of a sudden it's natural. And notice your thoughts about when you start to notice that, oh no, I'm not good with money. Oh no, that's not helping me. That's taking me away from where I want to go. It's not taking me towards where I want to go. And all you're doing is you're robbing from the association of something you're good at to the association to where you've got something currently you're bad at. And then all of a sudden you can use and tap in to that same energy and transplant it over to here. That's all you've got to do. So then the next step is to basically go, right, okay, so let's see now. Okay, my goal, I'm bad at money, I want to create money. Okay, how do I create money? What can I create money? Let's say you're in debt or something like that. The secret to getting out of debt isn't to imagine getting lots of money, right? Because the universe will then give you lots more of imagining to get lots of money. The secret is to design a life where the debt can't exist. So you haven't even used the word debt, right? Debt doesn't exist, right? So you've got no negative because there's an association with debt, pain, anguish and all that sort of thing, failure, whatever, right? So you've got that there. So if you design a life where that debt can't exist anymore, then all you've got to do is work on that design and steps to getting that design. And the debt will take care of itself. That's it. Right? Couple of places where I manifested. When I first used this technique, I didn't realise I was doing it. Excuse me a second. I didn't realise I was doing it, but I had, I'd been out with girls and that sort of thing, but I decided I wanted a life partner. I decided I wanted to find the person to spend the rest of my life with, and I just went, right, okay, what am I going to do? One Sunday morning, I sat down and designed who I wanted in my life, what she looked like, what colour hair she had, where she lived, right down to even her name, right? Because I used to, my cousin Alison, I was growing up. She was a year older than me, and I was always around staying with Alison because my dad worked at a different place. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point was, I spent a lot of time with my cousin Alison. I always liked the name Alison, right? So I designed what I wanted in somebody, right? Everything, right? All the details. And I included, I didn't want her parents to be divorced, didn't want all of this. And I went through everything. And that was it. And I wrote it all out. Within 3 weeks, I had found her, and I was going out with her, and her name was Alison, right? And she lived within the radius I wanted. Her parents weren't divorced. Absolutely everything on my list that I'd designed, I got. And so what I did was I designed what I wanted, and then I set about going to find people who I thought looked like they fitted in that category. And I found the person I've spent the rest, I will spend the rest of my life with, because I manifested the person I wanted. A few years ago, another one I did, I was suffering with very, very bad sciatica, and I was basically crippled, and I was on painkiller after painkiller and that sort of thing. I was on about 30 painkillers a day, and I had a situation where I tried everything: osteopath, chiropractic, what's the one called, traction, Reiki healing, acupuncture, you name it, I went for it. And I didn't just go for one person, I went for other people as well, just in case one person wasn't good enough. I was doing everything. Got to the stage where I couldn't even drive, had all these supercars, and I couldn't even drive any of them because I couldn't get in them. I was crippled. And I wouldn't, because I knew the doctor was wrong. I'd had a wellness experience before, and I thought, I'm not, the way Western medicine cures it, I'm not content with that. And so in the end, after several months of trying all of these different things, I kept saying to myself, I know this can be fixed. I just know it can be fixed. I know that the way to fix it isn't to cut my spine open and suck out one of my discs. I just know it. Anyway, I just see what I mean? No, I didn't believe it. I knew it. And so anyway, I was at a wedding and I was crippled and I was having to carry, people were carrying a chair around for me. So everywhere I went, I had to sit down. My mate came up to me. I hadn't seen him for several years. He went, "Oh yeah, you got bad back, have you, Andy?" He says, "I'm working for a Malaysian Chinese chef at the moment who reckons he can cure anybody with a wooden stick, right? Anybody with a bad back with a wooden stick, right?" And I'm like, I'm drunk because I'm knocking back as much alcohol as possible to really give the painkillers a bit of a kick. And anyway, long story short, I ended up going to see this guy through I'd almost given up because I'd been to the doctor by then, and the doctor had booked me in for an operation because I was on private healthcare and that sort of thing. And I was in total agony, and so I was thinking, I'm going to just have to go and do it. And I was still fighting though, because I was still thinking, there's got to be another solution. There's got to be another solution. This has got to get better. And I went and saw this guy, and he went up there, and I went and saw him in a place in Brighton, which is a pretty run-down area of Brighton. Anyone knows where I'm talking about. It's better now, but it was a pretty run-down area then. And went into there, and went into his lounge, and I'm like looking round, and it's like this is a one-bedroom flat, and there's stuff everywhere, and there's no treatment table, and there's a mate of his sitting on the sofa with his feet on the coffee table, and his mate gets his feet off the coffee table, and the guy just throws a blanket over the coffee table and goes, "Oh, strip off," right? I'm like, oh no, right? It's in a particular area of Brighton that's known for homosexuality sort of thing, and it was like, oh no, this is just not good. I've got nothing. I've got no strength. I've got nothing. Anyway, I'm standing there, and I'm massively overweight at the time. And he goes, "Oh, you very fat." "Oh, thanks a lot. It's really appreciated. And thanks for noticing." Anyway, he did this treatment on my back, and I was screaming in agony. And I got at the end of it. I got up at the end, and I got out, and he says, "Look, this treatment's going to take 18 months. You've got to come every week, and at the end of every week, at the end of the 18 months, your back will be 99.9% fixed. That's it." And I was like, yeah, right. At the time, I've been in agony, literally screaming in agony. I was. My back was just a big bruise about 2 days later. Anyway, I left, and I started to notice something different. For the first time in months, I just started to feel a bit better. Within a week, I was down to one painkiller a day. Within 3 weeks, I had everything back, right? And then I carried on going for the 18 months, and I have no bad back problems. I was in martial arts for 10 years. And I can stretch further today without warming up than I could ever do when I was in martial arts. What I'd done is I'd manifested the solution that didn't exist. I said to him one day, I said, "How many people are teaching this then?" He says, "Oh, the guy who taught me, and a son or something." And he said, "That's about it." I said, where's how old is this then? He said, "Oh, it's at least 70 years old." I said, "Well, who taught it to them?" "Oh no," he says, "it goes all the way back." And so I had manifested a dying Chinese art to fix my back. And now my back is fixed. That's the power of manifesting. And that's what I want for you. You're doing it anyway. You're doing it in everything you do. You just got to do it to the things you now desire. Right? That's it. That's the secret to manifesting. Okay, that's it for today. The next video, I'm going to cover how to remove the biggest element of fear, the fear of failure. I'm going to show you how to remove that tomorrow, and not tomorrow, whenever the next video comes out. And that's it. So thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave your comments below, and I'll look forward to answering them. And feel free to share this video with your friends. See you soon.